Om Shri Mahagणपतये Namaha. Om Shri Mahasaraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Atha Shriman Narayaneeyam, Dasaka 83. The story of Paundraka and Vivida. रामेत गोकुलगते प्रमदा प्रसक्ते हूतानुपेत यमुना दमने मदान्धे स्वैरं समारमति सेवकवादमूढो दूतं न्ययुङ्क्त तव पौण्ड्रकवासुदेवः. This verse and the following 7 verses of this Dasakam are composed in the Vasanta Tilaka meter, having 14 syllables in each quarter. Addressing God Krishna, the poet says, Ata Rame Gokula Gate, when Balarama had gone to Gokulam. Pramada Prasakte Madande, when he was engaged in playing with the Gopikas and was intoxicated with liquor. Duta Anupeta Yamuna Damane, when he subdued the river Yamuna, when she did not come near him when he called her. Swairam Samaramati, when he was playing at his will. Paundraka Vasudevaha Sevakavada Moodaha Tavadutam Nyayunkta. Paundraka Vasudeva, misled by the words of his attendants, sent a messenger to you. According to the Bhagavatam, once Bhagavan Balarama wanted to meet Nandagopa and others in Gokulam. He mounted his chariot and came to Vraja from Dwaraka. The cowherd people were very pleased to see him, and they eagerly enquired from him the welfare of Krishna. Balarama spent 2 vernal months of Chaitra and Vaishakha in Gokulam. At night, Balarama was happily engaged with the Gopikas. At that time, gentle breeze blew with the fragrance of lotuses, and the moonlight bathed the garden on the banks of Yamuna. Purna Chandra Kalamrishte Kaumudi Gandhavayuna Yamunopavane Reme Sevite Striganirvritaha. Bhagavata Puranam, 10th Skanda, 65th Adhyaya, 18th verse. At that time, God Varuna sent his daughter Varuni Devi, and she flowed from the hollow of a tree. The entire forest was filled with the sweet smell of Varuni or liquor. Varuna Preshita Devi Varuni Vrikshakotarat Patanti Tadvanam Sarvam Swagandhenadhyavasayat. Bhagavata Puranam, 10th Skanda, 65th Adhyaya, 19th verse. Balarama was attracted by the intense fragrance of Varuni and went there and consumed Varuni along with the Gopikas. Balarama was very much infatuated with the Gopikas who sang his glory. He appeared charming with a flower garland and also a Vaijayanti garland around his neck. In one of his ears there was a shining earring. A beautiful smile added to the charm of his lotus face. He wanted to have Jalakrida or water sport and called the river Yamuna to come near him. Seeing him intoxicated, Yamuna did not obey him. Then Balarama, with the tip of his plough, dragged the river angrily towards him. When rebuked by Balarama, the frightened Yamuna fell at his feet and requested him to release her. Balarama pardoned the river and he had his Jalakrida. In Bhagavatam, Sri Shukamuni says to Parikshit, O Parikshit, even today Yamuna flows in the path drawn by Balarama, and it appears as though she is singing the glory of the great Balarama. Adyapi drishyate rajan Yamuna Krishna Vartmana Balasyanantaviryasya Viryam Suchayativahi. Bhagavata Puranam, 10th Skanda, 65th Adhyaya, 31st verse. When Bhagavan Balarama had thus gone to the Vrajabhumi of Nandagopa, the foolish king of Karusha, Paundraka, sent a messenger to God Krishna. Paundraka's followers misled him and told him that he had taken the incarnation as Vasudeva for protecting people, and the foolish king Paundraka also believed them. Narayanohamavatirnaihasmi bhumau datse kila tvamapi mamakalakshanaani utsrijyatani sharanam vrajamamiti tvam Duto jagada sakalairhasitas sabhayam. Addressing God Krishna, the poet says, Narayanaha aham iha bhumau avatirnaha asmi. I am Narayana and I have incarnated in this earth. Tvamapi mamaka datse kila. You are also wearing my features. Tani utsrijya mam sharanam vraja. Casting them away, take refuge in me. Iti sabhayam dutaha tvam jagada. Thus, in the assembly, the messenger spoke to you. Sakalaihi hasitaha. He was laughed at by everyone. According to the Bhagavatam, the messenger of Paundraka came to Dwaraka and told Bhagavan Krishna, seated in the royal assembly, the message of his king. The Duta said, I am the only Vasudeva. There is no one else. To bless the living beings, I have incarnated in the earth. You have falsely kept your name as Vasudeva. Give it up. O Yaduvamshi, you are foolishly wearing my marks. Give them up. Take refuge in me. If you don't accept my words, then have a battle with me. Hearing these words of foolish Paundraka, Ugrasena and other people in the assembly started laughing aloud. Dute tayatavati yadava sainikaistvam yato dadarshita vapuk kila paundrakiyam tapena vachasi kritankamanalpamulya Shri Kaustubam Makara Kundala Pita Chelam. Addressing God Krishna, the poet says, Ata Dute Yatavati. Then, when the messenger left, Tvam Yadava Sainyaihi Yataha. You went along with the Yadava army. Vachasi Tapena Kritankam. You saw the body of Paundraka on which there was a mark inflicted by heat like the Srivatsa mark. Analpa Mulya Shri Kaustubam. Paundraka was having a rich gem as the Kaustuba Mani. Makara Kundala Pita Chelam. Paundraka was having the Makara Kundalas and he was wearing yellow clothes. Paundrakiyam Vapuhu Dadarshita Kila. You saw such a body of Paundraka. According to the Bhagavatam, after the messenger of Paundraka left, Krishna mounted his chariot and went to the city of Kashi because at that time the Karusha king Paundraka was living with his friend the Kashi king. Getting the news of Krishna's attack, Paundraka came in a chariot with two Akshohini Senas. The king of Kashi, Paundraka's friend, followed him in support with three Akshohini Senas. Krishna saw that Paundraka also had conch, discus, sword, mace, bow, and a mark on his body. He also had an artificial Kaustuba gem and Vanamala on his body. He had yellow silk garments, and in the flag of his chariot there was the emblem of Garuda. He had a shining crown and Makara Kundalas. Krishna had a good laugh when he saw Paundraka adorned exactly like him. Kalaya samnija sudarshanamasya tosya kalanalotkara kirena sudarshanena shirsham chakartita mamardita chasya senam tanmitra kashipashiropi chakarta kashyam. Addressing God Krishna, the poet says, Kalayasam Nija Sudarshanam Asyataha. Paundraka was discharging his Sudarshana discus made of black iron. Asya Shirsham Kalanalotkara Kirena Sudarshanena Chakartita. You cut off his head with Sudarshana Chakram, which was emitting sparks of Kalagni, the fire of destruction. Asya Sainyam cha Mamardita, you destroyed his army also. Tan Mitra Kashipa Shiraha api Kashyam Chakarta. You also cut off the head of his friend, the king of Kashi, in the city of Kashi. According to the Bhagavatam, in the fight between Paundraka and Krishna, Krishna defeated his enemy very easily and cut off his head with his Sudarshana Chakram. Bhagavan also killed his friend, the king of Kashi. After this battle, Krishna returned to his capital city, Dwaraka. Jalyena balakagirapi kilahameva Srivasudeva iti rudamatischiram saha Sayujyameva bhavadaikya dhiyagato bhut Ko nama kasya sukritam katamityaveyat. Addressing God Krishna, the poet says, Jalyena balaka gira api. Paundraka, due to his stupidity and by the words of foolish people, Ahameva kila Vasudevaha iti chiram rudamatihi. He had the firm conviction, I am Vasudeva, for a long time. Saha Bhavadaikya Dhiya. He, because of uniting his mind with you, Sayujyameva Gataha Abhut, he became united with you. Kaha Nama Kasya Sukrutam Katam iti Aveyat. Who can know what good things are in store for any person. In Bhagavatam, Sri Shuka tells King Parikshit, "O Parikshit, Paundraka kept on thinking about the form of Krishna. Because of this, all his worldly bonds got destroyed. Paundraka always remembered God and assumed the form of Krishna. Due to this constant thought about God, he became united with God. Sanityam Bhagavad Dhyana Pradvasthakila Bandhanaha Bibranascha Hare Rajan Swarupam Tanmayo Bhavat. Bhagavata Puranam 10th Skanda 66th Adhyaya 24th verse. काशीश्वरस्य तनयोऽथ सुदक्षिणाख्यः सर्वं प्रपूज्य भवते विहिताभिचारः कृत्यानलं कमपि बाणरणातिभीतैर्भूतैकथञ्चन वृतैः सममभ्यमुञ्चत्. Addressing God Krishna, the poet says, Ata Sudakshinakhyaha Kashishwarasya Tanayaha. Then Sudakshina, the son of the Kashi king. Sharvam Prapujya Bhavate Vihitabhicharaha. Worshipping Shiva and employing abhichara or black magic against you. Bana ranati bhitaihi katanchana vritaihi bhutaihi samam kamapi krityanalam abhyamunchat. He sent some fiery evil spirit Kritya towards you, along with the Bhutaganas, who were very afraid of facing you due to their encounter with you during your battle with Banasura. Sudakshina, with great difficulty, persuaded the Shivaganas to support him and send them against you. According to the Bhagavatam, Sudakshina was the son of the king of Kashi. When Sudakshina's father was killed by Krishna, he decided to kill Krishna and take revenge. Along with his family, priests and preceptors, he worshipped Shiva and started performing abhichara or black magic against Krishna. From his sacrificial ground, a terrible fire in bodily form emerged. It held a trident in its hand. Along with the Bhutaganas, the fiery Kritya reached Dwaraka to attack Krishna. Tala pramana charanamakilam dahantim krityam vilokya chakitai katitopi pauraihi dyutotsave kimapi no chalito bibhotvam parshvastamashu visasarjita kala chakram. Addressing God Krishna, the poet says, Tala Pramana Charanam. The Kritya's legs were as tall as a palm tree. Akhilam Dahantim Krityam Vilokya. Seeing the Kritya who was burning down everything. Chakitaihi Pauraihi Katitaha Api. Though you were told about her by the frightened citizens. Tvam dyutotsave kimapi no chalitaha. You were engrossed in the game of dice and did not move even a little. Parshvastam kala chakram ashu visasarjita. You quickly discharged your Sudarshana chakram which was near you. According to the Bhagavatam, the evil Kritya discharged by Sudakshina was very frightening to look at. She had big legs like palm trees. The earth shook with her speed, and the flames emitting from her scorched everything. Many Bhutaganas accompanied the evil Kritya. The people of Dwaraka got extremely frightened to see her and ran to Bhagavan Krishna for protection. Krishna was playing a game of dice. The omniscient God laughed and asked the citizens not to be afraid. Krishna then ordered the Sudarshana Chakram near him to counter the Maheshwari Kritya from Kashi. अभ्यापतत्यमितधाम्नि भवन्महास्त्रे हाहेति विद्रुतवती खलु घोरकृत्या रोषात् सुदक्षिणमदक्षिणचेष्टितं तं पुप्लोषचक्रमपि काशीपुरीमधाक्षीत्. Addressing God Krishna, the poet says, Amita Dhamni Bhavan Mahastre Abhyapatati. When your great astram, the Sudarshana Chakram, having limitless lustre, came to attack Kritya, Ghora Kritya Kalu, Ha Ha Iti Vidrutavati, the terrible Kritya speedily ran away, howling with fear. Roshat adakshina cheshtitam tam sudakshinam puplosha. With anger, she burned down Sudakshina, who did the evil act. Kashipurim adachit. The Sudarshana Chakram burned down the city of Kashi also. According to Bhagavatam, the dear weapon of Krishna, the Sudarshana Chakram, was very brilliant like the sun and the fire of deluge. By its lustre, the sky, the directions, and the intermediary spaces were all illumined. The Chakram followed Kritya to Kashi, and Kritya burned Sudakshina along with his sacrificial priests with great anger. Ultimately, the Chakram totally vanquished the evil Kritya. Thus, the black magic employed by Sudakshina led to his own ruin. The Sudarshana Chakram, following Kritya, burned down the city of Kashi also, and then returned to Krishna at Dwaraka. Sakalu vivido racho gate kritopakriti pura tavatu kalaya mrityum praptum tada kalatam gataha naraka sachivo desha klesham srijan nagarantike Jatiti halina yudyan adda papata talahataha. The above verse, having 17 syllables in each quarter, is composed in the Harini meter. Addressing God Krishna, the poet says, Pura Racho Ghate. In ancient times, during your incarnation as Rama, and during the slaying of the Rakshasa Ravana and others. Kritopakritihi sahakalu vividaha. That Vivida, who is well known for his help to you. Tava kalayatu mrityum praptum tada kalatam gataha. During that time, during the time when you have incarnated as Krishna, he became wicked to get killed by your part incarnation as Balarama. Naraka Sachivaha Desha Klesham Srijan, becoming the minister of Narakasura and creating suffering to the people. Nagarantike, near the city of Dwaraka, Halina Yudyan Jetiti Adda Talahataha Papata. Fighting with Balarama, he indeed quickly fell down dead, being hit by the palm of Balarama. In the Bhagavata Puranam, 10th Skanda, Sri Shuka tells King Parikshit about Dvivida. Dvivida was a Vanara. He was the friend of Bhaumasura, the minister of Sugriva, and the brother of Mainda. When he heard that Krishna had killed Bhaumasura, he wanted to take revenge and started creating trouble to people in the Anartha country where Krishna lived. Once Dvivida went to the Raivataka mountain and happened to see Balarama in the company of some women. Dvivida arrived there and irritated Balarama by his bad behavior. Getting angry with him, Balarama took his plough and mace to fight with him. Dvivida uprooted many trees and fought with Balarama valiantly. A fierce fight took place between Balarama and Dvivida. Then Dvivida attacked Balarama with his hands, and Balarama also, leaving aside his weapons, attacked him with his hands. Dvivida could not withstand the blow of Balarama and fell down dead. The Devatas showered flowers on Balarama and blessed him for his great feat. Then Balarama returned to Dwaraka. Sambam Kauravya-putri Harananiyamitam Santvanarti Kurunam Yatastadvakyaroshodritakarinagarro Mochayamasa Ramaha Te Ghatya Pandaveyairiti Yadupratanam Namuchastvam Tadanim Tam Tvam Durbodalilam Pavanapurapate Tapashantyai Nisheve. The above verse, having 21 syllables in each quarter, is composed in the Sragdara meter. Addressing God Krishna, the poet says, Kauravya Putri Harana Niyamitam Sambam. Samba, the son of Jambavati, was bound by the Kauravas for abducting the daughter Lakshmana of Duryodhana. Ramaha Kurunam Santvanarti Yataha. Balarama went to pacify the Kauravas regarding Samba. Tad Vakya Roshodrita Kari Nagaraha Mochaya Masa. Hearing the words of the Kauravas, Balarama became angry and he uprooted the entire Hastinapuram and managed to release Samba. Te Pandaveyaihi Gatyaha iti Tvam Tadanim Yadupratanam na Amuchaha. At that time, you did not send the army of the Yadavas in support of Balarama, thinking that the Kauravas are to be killed by the Pandavas. Pavanapurapate Durbodha Leelam Tam Tvam Tapashantyai Nisheve. O Lord of Guruvayur, I take refuge in you for the cessation of all my sufferings. Your Leelas are indeed hard to understand. According to the 10th Skanda of Bhagavatam, Samba, the son of Jambavati, was very valorous. He carried away the daughter Lakshmana of Duryodhana from the Swayamvara hall. Due to this, the Kauravas got angry and bound Samba. Balarama went to Hastinapuram to pacify the Kauravas regarding Samba. He stayed in a garden in the outskirts of the city, and to know the mind of the Kauravas, he sent Uddhava to Dhritarashtra. Uddhava went to the royal assembly and announced the arrival of Balarama. Initially, the Kauravas welcomed Balarama respectfully. Then Balarama said, "Our king Ugrasena has given you an order. You have bound Samba and are holding him as a captive. You send him to us along with his newly married wife Lakshmana." Hearing Balarama's words, the haughty Kauravas got angry and they spoke very insulting words against Balarama. Then Balarama, with the tip of his plough, repeatedly hit the city of Hastinapuram and uprooted it and dragged it towards the river Ganges to drown it. When the Kauravas knew that the city was about to be plunged in the river, they got frightened. Then they sought the pardon from Balarama and sent Samba and Lakshmana with him with a lot of presents.